For as long as we've sailed across the oceans, we've believed the deep was empty, quiet, cold, and predictable. But the deeper we look, the more that illusion shatters. Every sonar ping, every unexplained echo, every blurred shadow in the abyss hints at something far more unsettling. That our oceans may be hiding giants we were never meant to see, creatures older than our myths, larger than our ships, and stranger than anything evolution should allow. And it all started with one bizarre sonar reading. A shape, no, several shapes, layered on top of each other, moving in ways nothing with bones or flesh should move. At first, researchers dismissed it as an error, equipment malfunction, a glitch, but then the signal repeated, and the ocean floor trembled. This video isn't just about myths. It's about the possibility that the world still hides monsters, real ones, not dragons from stories or tentacled nightmares from old sailors' tales, but something far more fascinating. Something that doesn't fit into any category of life we know. Something that might be watching us from the darkness below. Tonight, we're going to dive into the most chilling theory yet, that the sonar anomaly wasn't a mistake. It was a creature, and not just any creature, but the first of several beings that defy biology, logic, and history itself. Hold your breath. What you're about to hear might change the way you see the ocean forever. The first sonar trace researchers isolated came from nearly 30,000 feet down, deep inside a trench where the pressure is so extreme it should crush anything larger than a human hand. Yet the signal showed movement. Not small, scattered movement, but a single, continuous body stretching across the scanner like a moving spine. It wasn't a whale, it wasn't a squid, it wasn't anything with known biology. The creature's silhouette revealed a long, rail-like body, segmented in perfect intervals, each ridge pulsing with faint electrical energy. It looked like a line of bone plates, hundreds of them, snapping open and shut as the creature propelled itself forward. The ocean floor vibrated with every shift in its body, like the distant rumble of a train approaching from a tunnel made of water and darkness. Some oceanographers started calling it the Hadal Wyrm-Eel, a hybrid of serpent and armored eel, unlike anything that should exist under such crushing pressure. Legends from multiple cultures, Pacific, Nordic, and even ancient Mediterranean, speak of moving islands, ribbed sea serpents, and the rail-backed monster that hums beneath the waves. No one ever took these stories seriously. Why would they? They sounded impossible, but the sonar showed otherwise. The worm-eel's electrical pulses created a flickering blue current, lighting up the trench walls like a heartbeat inside a cave. Then, without warning, the creature twisted sharply, releasing a shockwave of low-frequency sound that rattled equipment miles away. But here's the unsettling part. That shockwave wasn't random. It almost sounded patterned, as if the creature was communicating with something else in the dark. And that something else is what the second sonar hit revealed. The second sonar hit wasn't a shape, it was an absence, a vast, perfect void where something should have been. No reflections, no contours, no biological signatures, just a black, featureless gap floating in the water column, like a hole punched straight through reality. At first, analysts assumed it was a corrupted scan, but then it moved. Not with the fluid glide of a whale or the twisting rhythm of a serpent, but with slow, deliberate sweeps, like the silent passing of a cloak. That's when divers reported seeing something darker than the dark around it, a presence that swallowed light instead of reflecting it. They named it the Gloom Harvester, a cephalopod so unlike any known species that even the term cephalopod feels inaccurate. Its mantle stretched outward like a flowing hood, the edges rippling as if the creature were made of fabric instead of flesh. Instead of multiple tentacles, it possessed one massive scythe-like limb that curved beneath its body, a limb that left a faint distortion on sonar, resembling the blade of a giant underwater reaper. It moved with impossible silence. Not even displacement waves were detected. The ocean around it simply dimmed. Some Polynesian legends speak of the shadow that hunts light, a spirit said to rise from the abyss during moments of great danger. For centuries, these tales were dismissed as metaphor, but the Gloom Harvester makes them feel like warnings. The most disturbing part? The sonar captured the creature pausing, hovering motionless, directly above the trench where the Hadal Wyrm-Eel disappeared. And for a brief moment, the two signals overlapped, one shadow merging with one spine, almost like a meeting, or a response. And what surfaced next suggests this wasn't coincidence, but coordination. Not long after the overlapping signals vanished, another anomaly surfaced, this time near a volcanic ridge where the seafloor cracks open and releases columns of boiling water. The region is so hostile that even specialized submersibles risk melting under the heat. But right in the center of those shimmering plumes, Sonar picked up a slow, deliberate movement, a shape so massive it warped the thermal readings around it. At first, researchers thought it was an underwater eruption. Then the eruption began to exhale. A deep, thunderous rumble rolled through the vents, followed by a blast of steam so forceful it distorted several kilometers of surrounding water. When the heat haze settled, the scanners outlined something unprecedented. A creature moving with the volcanic vents, not against them. Its dorsal ridge glowed in molten shades of orange and red, illuminating its outline like a living furnace. They called it the Thermo-Forge Behemoth. Unlike any whale, this titan carried what looked like glowing bone armor. Plates radiating heat as if forged in magma. Each slow rise of its back sent ripples of incandescent light through the black water, casting eerie shadows across the volcanic pillars. Its call registered at a frequency so low it shook sediment loose, creating the illusion of distant thunder rumbling through the deep. What's truly disturbing is what the behemoth was doing. It wasn't migrating and it wasn't hunting. It was circling, moving around a specific volcanic vent as if guarding something beneath the crust. Each pass created pressure waves that echoed down into the trench where the Wyrm-Eel had vanished and the Gloom Harvester had paused. 3 creatures, 3 regions, 3 signals, all converging toward the same location. And the next one would be the most violent encounter yet. The 4th anomaly wasn't detected by Sonar first. It was detected by impact. A sudden shockwave tore through a deep ocean listening station, so sharp, so violent, it cracked reinforced panels designed to survive years in the abyss. For a moment, the entire station drifted in darkness, lights flickering as if something enormous had struck it. When the backup systems rebooted, Sonar captured a pattern unlike anything recorded before. A cluster of jagged lines layered and splitting apart like shattered glass. Only, the lines were moving. The creature emerged from the darkness with a jaw that tore reality into angles, 3 hinged plates folding open sideways and vertically, transforming its face into a fractal nightmare geometry. Each split revealed serrated teeth vibrating at ultrasonic frequencies, turning water into a weapon. Whenever it opened its mouth, the surrounding water trembled, sending ripples outward like shock waves from a bomb. Scientists named it the cryptoclastic Fang-Maw after the geological term for shattered rock. And it lived up to the title. Its attacks didn't rely on speed, they relied on resonance. One pulse from its teeth could crumble coral, crush shells, even crack the hull of a submersible from a distance. The Fang-Maw didn't hunt with stealth, it hunted by breaking the world around its prey. But what terrified researchers most wasn't its jaws, it was its behavior. The creature wasn't wandering, it wasn't aimlessly roaming. It was following the thermal currents radiating from the volcanic ridge, tracking the same pressure signals created by the Thermo-Forge Behemoth. Each time the behemoth's molten dorsal plates pulsed, the Fang-Maw responded with a low resonance from miles away, like 2 titans communicating across the abyss. 4 creatures, 4 signals, 4 converging paths. Whatever they were moving toward was massive enough to unite predators, shadows, serpents, and fire-backed giants. And what appeared next defied everything Sonar was ever designed to detect. For a full 3 seconds, every sensor, every sonar device, every underwater microphone in a 100-mile radius slipped into total silence, as if time itself had been pulled taut. Then, all at once, the systems caught up, unleashing a flood of distorted echoes that overlapped, duplicated, and folded into each other like a glitching reality. At the center of that impossible signal was a shape too large to resolve, not because the sonar was weak, but because the creature existed in layers, multiple outlines overlapping as though it were in several places at once. Every ping echoed back twice, one from the creature's present position, and one from where it had been a fraction of a second in the future. Researchers named it the Chrono-Abyss Leviathan, the first recorded organism that appeared to bend temporal signatures underwater. Its body was a shifting tapestry of interlocked masses, some smooth, some ridged, some pulsing with internal light like organs caught between dimensions. At intervals, its silhouette flickered, showing glimpses of fins the size of aircraft wings, ribs shaped like arches, a jawline stretching farther than a blue whale's entire body, yet none of these features stayed stable. They phased, layered, dissolved, and reappeared as if the creature were a living echo. But the horror wasn't its form, it was its effect. Whenever the Leviathan moved, the ocean around it lagged, currents slowing, pressure waves freezing for a heartbeat before snapping forward with explosive force submersibles reported seeing 2 versions of the creature at once, one approaching and one already passing by, like future and past colliding in a single glance. And then came the final confirmation. The Wyrm-Eel fled the trench. The Gloom Harvester dimmed its cloak. The Thermo-Forge Behemoth silenced its molten roar. The Fang-Maw locked its fractal jaws and retreated. 4 colossal beings, predators, shadows, leviathans of their own domains, fell completely still at the presence of something older, something beyond biology. Not a monster, not an apex predator, a primordial constant, the ocean's first king, returning. So now the question lingers like a heartbeat in the dark. What exactly did Sonar capture that day? Was it a glitch, a coincidence, the ocean playing tricks on our instruments? Or was it something far older, something powerful enough to command the silence of creatures that rule the abyss? The Chrono-Abyss Leviathan wasn't just another anomaly. It was a reminder that our planet is still mostly unknown, that the oceans hold secrets we're only beginning to touch, and that some mysteries aren't meant to be solved, only witnessed. But what do you think? Do these creatures exist, hidden in trenches we may never fully explore? Or are they rare echoes, brief glimpses into an ancient world that still breathes beneath us? Drop your thoughts below. And if you want more dives into the unknown, make sure to like, subscribe, and join me again as we uncover what else waits in the deep.